Thank you, Mr. President, and I also welcome this report, although I haven't managed to read it. I listened with interest to what you were saying, Mr. Desir. The European Union has always prided itself on its principled trade policies. And Article 3 of the Treaty of the EU states there that it promotes its values and interests, and it goes on, it shall contribute to peace, security and sustainable development of the earth, solidarity and mutual respect amongst people, and free and fair trade and the eradication of poverty and the protection of human rights. It goes on. And I fully support the strengthening of trade and investment ties between the European Union and its international trade partners. It's essential that any trade agreement the EU makes should complement rather than undermine our principles. And it's simply not enough that trade agreements between the EU and third countries include reference to a dizzying array of international environmental and human rights standards. This has already shown itself to have little or no impact on improving standards in our partner countries. A major flaw in the EU trade agreements is that they place no agreement and no obligation on the European companies operating underneath these agreements. They create a legal framework for liberalising trade flows between sovereign states, covering only the states who sign them, but not the companies that enjoy an easier business environment and increased capacity to profit within them. But what happens when a trading partner nation, as is often the case, has a very weak regulatory regime in which it is unable or even unwilling to enforce the law or properly regulate the conduct of companies operating on their territories? The continued environmental degradation and flaunting of labour standards practised by many multinational companies in their commercial activities abroad is a testament to the fact that the EU needs a change of its policy. And Mr. Desir has already quoted many of the examples, but I'm quoting the Nigerian Delta issues of leaking oil that we have there and has been going on for years, much longer than is happening in the Gulf of Mexico. Blood diamonds, palm oil and other issues. This is why CSR must also form a part of EU trade deals in the future, and I welcome this own initiative report and call the rapporteur to lay down the case for EU trade deals in the future to incorporate strong, mandatory and transparent CSR standards on all companies operating within our trading partner states, and show ways that the EU can take actions to enforce actions on companies based within our borders, to hold them accountable for their actions of those overseas and the profits that they bring based on those trading practices. Thank you.
Thank you. Now Syed Kamal from the ECR group.